We're back to the Neil Haley Show, and I'm excited about my guest, business strategist, owner, CEO, and also author, Jean Kuhn. Jean, thanks for stopping by. And today we're going to talk about, my mentors have always told me this, and this is why mentors where I've grown to where I've grown, just like what you've been able to do, the importance of mentorship. It's something that a lot of people think, I got this, I can handle this myself. And then they go through all the struggles, make the mistakes, do all these different things. And then sometimes their dream, what they want to achieve, doesn't happen. Do you agree with me, Jean? They kind of just go with the flow, take the chances, and lose out on a lot of things, which time is very valuable.
Well, I do think that people need a mentor because I know that, listen, you don't know what you don't know, right? You know what I have a big problem with though, Neil, is coaches who don't have a mentor. And it's like you expect somebody to work at you as hire you as their coach or their mentor, and they don't have a mentor. I think it's insane. And I think that you're not doing your customers any favor because you're completely out of integrity. If you're claiming to be a mentor and you don't have a mentor, I would never work with somebody like that. If you want to be my mentor, you damn well better have a mentor.
Right. And we should always constantly be educating ourselves as well.
Exactly.
And I think that every time my trajectory of what's happened for me, where I have gone for education, I have seen my business grow. When I don't do it, I see my business stay the same. It's
Right.
like the extra time I put in, the extra time in study, the extra time to talk to mentors. Eureka, things happen and you grow.
Right. Right. And here's the thing. If you took, I'm gonna give you do you mind a quick story? You know, I
Sure.
always give a story, right? So when I became self-employed, I spent the first 28 years trying to really create at least a six-figure income for myself, and I never hit that. And I realized that there was even more than six figures that I wanted. There was so much I wanted, and I'd already spent 28 years educating myself and learning, and it was the wrong thing, right? The moment I hired a mentor, the moment I hired a coach, I got right to the point of where I needed help at. I got the solution I needed, and I've done more in the last 10 years of having a mentor than I did in the first 30 years I was an entrepreneur.
Because we look at specific gurus by
Mhm.
just reading their books or listening to their courses, but we don't have a plan. We
Right.
get all these ideas. We, listen to podcasts. We get this thing. Okay, I'm going to go here. AI works, and all these different things. And Eureka, then we find out, oh, we're going back to this. There's no structure. What does that mentor do in structure for you to kind of set up a plan?
You know what? Actually, this is how I use my mentor. Here's my problem. What's the solution? Right? I don't need to learn everything that she knows. What I need and what you need is what's that next step? Because I call it the Indiana Jones principle, right? When you can't figure out how to get from A to B, all you have to do is take one step in faith. And so I ask for one step. What's that next step I need? When I take that first step, the next one appears. And if it doesn't appear, I go back and I ask for the next step. Right. But we're always building our businesses in phases. And sometimes you just need to know, all right, what's the next phase? What's the next thing I don't know? What is the next plan I have? If you've gotten to 50,000 and it's like, I want to get to 100,000. Okay, well, you're not going to do that overnight. So how are we going to get there? Here's your plan to get you to six figures. Oh, great. I'm at six figures. I'd like to go to seven. Great. You can do what you've been doing to hit six figures, but you have to up level yourself, right? And if you're not up leveling yourself, I don't know how you do that if you're going to do it on your own, you're right. Podcast, books, you're wasting a lot of time by not just hiring somebody to give you this step. I don't call myself a coach. A coach is trying to it's like, oh, Neil, what's that? You tell me, what's that next step you really want? It's a consulting piece. It is like working with the therapist, right? I don't know. What do you think you should do, Neil? And making you figure it out on your own, right? I don't do that. I'm like, people hire me because I give them the next step. Then when we take that step, I give them the next step. And I don't try to give them it all at once because that doesn't help them at all, right? I give them what they need as soon as they need it, but I don't give them their entire, some people I give their entire plan, but I say, we're not doing this all right now. This is a 12-month plan. We have to work our way up that six-figure ladder.
Wow, that's so true. And through that process, then you're going to learn, especially if the person has achieved more results than you have, been able to do it for their business, have worked in business for a specific amount of time. If you're looking at a business coach, if you're going to get a life coach, same thing. They got to have gone through that grinding, have overcome and had success to be coaching. But if somebody's never gone through any of it and they're just kind of looking at a blueprint and saying, this is what you should run, they're not the right person to hire.
I want to say something about what you just said too. It's like, and they became a coach, right? I became a coach because it's everything that I've learned by being an entrepreneur in the last 38 years, right? I became a coach because I realized I made a lot of mistakes, Neil, a lot of really costly mistakes, but I learned from them, right? Because that's how did I turn it into a success? Because if I hadn't failed, I wouldn't have been able to find the way to success. So I share those shortcuts with people also to save them money. There's no reason why they should have to waste as much money as I did becoming an entrepreneur.
All right. Best place to find information on Jean is where?
JeanKuhn.com, JeanKuhn, hashtag 8 letters.
Very simple. And you
Yeah.
see it on all different social media. Make sure you subscribe to her YouTube channel, follow her on all social media platforms. And she tells it like it is. And you gotta listen and tell it like it is, because everyone needs a coach and mentor. And if you don't have a coach and mentor that you can go ahead and ask for advice, you're in trouble because you're trying to figure out something you've never done before. So you're gonna make a lot of mistakes, and those mistakes could cost you lots of money and lots of time. Appreciate it, Jean.
Thanks, Neil.
You're listening and watching The Neil Haley Show, and we'll be back in just a moment.